All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. This Leoda Bradshaw, Phillip Paulwell case, it was one of the biggest cases out of Jamaica for 2023. Matter of fact, I think this case took the cake if you were to ask what was the most dramatic case out of Jamaica for 2023. I mean, you're talking about a United States of America military personnel in a mid-ranking, high level of responsibility position that flew into Jamaica for the sole purpose of kidnapping a mother and her child. And then the mother and the child were found executed and burnt to death. So, and also it involves a top tier politician. Now, looking back then, and where we are now in 2024 with this case, the case continues. Headline says, out of the Caribbean National Weekly, fifth person has been charged in the murder case of Phillip Paulwell's daughter and her mother. A fifth person has been charged. Here are the details of everything this fifth person is charged with. Let me just say this. People get caught all the time in Jamaica on charges that they are supposed to sit in prison for, but they end up getting bail for it. And once they can pay the bail, they're back out free and they're back roaming the streets to do what they do again. I think the person that got charged in this, the fifth person, this person is one of those types of persons. But let's get into the details. So it says, a fifth person has been charged in the kidnapping and murder case of Jamaican politician Phillip Paulwell's 10-month-old daughter and her mother. Several charges have been laid against Bjon Black. That's the person's name. His name is Bjon Black, B-J-O-N Black. According to a statement from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Stick around. There's something that the Director of Public Prosecutions Department is also doing to this case, which is something similar to what's happening in the Jolyon Silvera case. And we'll get into that because, again, this is Jamaica. This is where they cover stuff up, sweep stuff under the rug, invent new laws to cover up their flaws, never say I'm sorry, etc., etc. Not trying to paint Jamaica in a bad light, just trying to point out what goes down. And what goes down is what goes down. Now, as far as Bjon Black, this new person who's been arrested in connection to the murders and kidnapping, Black was officially charged on January 12th of 2024 with kidnapping and the murder of Toshyna Patterson and Sarayah Paulwell. Toshyna Patterson was the mother. Sarayah Paulwell was the young 10-month-old daughter of prominent politician Phillip Paulwell, and he was charged with kidnapping and with the murder following gun charges that were laid against him in December. And I believe those gun charges were in a separate case. He appeared before the Home Circuit Court January 17th to answer to the kidnapping and murder charges. The charges, so everybody understands them, are as follows. Conspiracy to kidnap Toshyna Patterson on different days between the 6th and the 9th of September of 2023. Conspiracy to kidnap Sarayah Paulwell, the baby, on different days between the 6th and the 9th day of September 2023. Conspiracy to murder. This is the third one. Conspiracy to murder Toshyna Patterson, the mother, on different days between the 6th and the 9th of September 2023. And the fourth one, conspiracy to murder Sarayah Paulwell, the baby, on different days between the 6th and the 9th of September 2023. The fifth charge, kidnapping of Toshyna Patterson on the 9th day of September 2023. Kidnapping, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, kidnapping of Sarayah Paulwell on the 9th day of September 2023. Then murder of Toshyna Patterson on the 9th day of September 2023. And murder of Sarayah Paulwell on the 9th day of September 2023. In a separate case, it is said that Black was also charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, possession of a prohibited weapon. He was caught with a gun. And, of course, unauthorized possession of ammunition and dealing in prohibited weapons. For the people who don't know, just a little FYI and some education, I was under the impression that if you got caught with bullets in Jamaica without being caught with a gun, then there was no charge. But that's not how it works. If you get caught in Jamaica with a gun and you got ammunition in the gun or on your persons, you have two separate charges. So they will charge you for a prohibited weapon, and then they will charge you for unauthorized possession of ammunition. If you're only caught with bullets and no gun, you can still be charged with unauthorized possession of ammunition without being charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, which would be the gun, right? This is what he was charged for in a separate case. And also he was charged with dealing in prohibited weapons. So in other words, this is a man who sells guns according to the law. He deals in guns, he sells guns, he carries guns. And apparently, he also is a real freelancer, this you know. Apparently, he also does other side jobs like kidnapping and murder with these guns. He will make 2 court appearances in February of 2024 to answer to both sets of charges. I think him have about 8, 9, 10 charges on him pertaining to this case and his other case, which is a separate case, the gun case. Now, others charged in murder and kidnapping case. Black now joins Richard Brown. I don't think Black is going to go away for a long time, because listen to the deals that Richard Brown and the other one got. Black now joins Richard Brown, and Richard Brown was the one who pleaded guilty to kidnapping and to the murder, and was sentenced to 30 years imprisonment. Remember, I know he doesn't have to do the whole 30. He'll be good for parole in about halfway to that 30. 30 years, he'll be out. And again, I put Vybz Kartel name into situations like these because I said these people got way less time than Vybz Kartel. You know, they say, where is Lizard? We can't find Lizard. Well, we are absolutely sure what happened to Sarayah and her, to the mom and the daughter, right? And what happened to them? To be beaten and to be humiliated and then to be executed, and child executed in front of mother so mother can't see it, and mother begs, and then mother is executed as well and left. Her final thing she was told before she left earth, from what we were told so far, was stop tech people, man, right? And murdered this woman. We know for a fact how she was murdered. Now, in such gruesome condition, you end up with less years than a person like Vybz Kartel. This person is sentenced to 30 years in prison. This was not years before eligible for parole. This was not 30 years to do straight 30. This was 30 years imprisonment, which means halfway through, 15 years in, 20 years in, this person would probably be free. In Vybz Kartel's case, which I want people to understand, is he has 34 years before he can even appear before a parole board. And when you appear before a parole board, there's no guarantee that you're going to come out. The parole board can simply look at you and say, we don't think you're rehabilitated enough. Just keep serving time. So a sentence like that, 34 before you are eligible for parole, but it's a life sentence, you can literally be in there for 60 years, 70 years if they choose to keep you there for that long. Now back to this case. Blacks now joins Richard Brown, who pleaded guilty to the kidnapping and murder and was sentenced to 30 years because he made a deal with the state. And Roshane Miller, who also pleaded guilty to conspiracy to kidnap and accessory before the fact and to the murder, and he was sentenced to only 7 years. So Roshane did not plead guilty to the murder. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to kidnap, meaning he was a part of the plan to kidnap. And he was an accessory before the fact, before the murders took place. So in other words, he was able to subtract himself from the actual murder, but he was a part of. And I said this person should also have been given a complete life sentence as well, because you were a part of conspiring to murder a wife and a mother and a child, and the plan that you hatched up was executed. It was carried out. So how are you able to just walk away with 7 years and 10 months? You know what the DPP did, Department of Public Prosecution in Jamaica? And I always hear Paula Llewellyn's name and see her face every time we say DPP, because she's the head of the DPP, right? The first thing they did was they made sure to tell the public, because there was outrage. Everybody was like, are you friggin' kidding me? 7 years and 10 months? What? She came out immediately and said, yep, after this, we're going to be keeping a tight lid on any deals that are made concerning this case. So basically, we, the public, will not be getting much of any more information concerning these deals, which will be cut behind the scenes, and then the records will be sealed. Kind of like what they're trying to do in the Jolly and Silvera case. Take out the media, take out the family members, out the courtroom, have a case tried behind the scenes, cut some kind of deal, seal the record. Nobody can talk about it to the public. Dirty. That's how they get down. Dirty. Right? The mastermind behind the crime, Leoda Bradshaw, a former partner of Phillip Paulwell. She also is a baby mother of Phillip Paulwell as well, because she has a child by him as well. She was charged with capital murder and conspiracy to kidnap. Her co-accused, Roland Balfour, her cousin, was charged with accessory before the fact to kidnapping and accessory before the fact to murder. So in other words, Roland is probably going to end up doing 7 to 10 years, just like the other guy, Roshane Miller, who pleaded guilty to conspiracy to kidnap and accessory before the fact and ended up getting 7 to 10 years. Look at what he is charged with, and you will see that he's about to pick up about 7 to 10 as well. And then there is Leoda Bradshaw, who they won't be giving us much information concerning what types of deals will be going on behind the scene. Both Bradshaw and Balfour will be back in the home circuit court 2024 March, and we look forward to see what happens then when they go to court then. Now, there's more. Leoda Bradshaw's attorney is seeking contents of a plea deal that was secured by her co-accused. The people who were accused with her, they are cutting plea deals, getting 7 to 10 years. Man pled guilty to murder of the baby and the mother, and he got 30 years. He'll be out in about 15. And Leoda Bradshaw's attorney wants to know, well, what are the details of those plea deals? What did they say they were going to be doing? Like, how did they get a plea deal? Are they going to be testifying against my client? If that is the case, then it is your constitutional right in Jamaica to have whatever it is that is going to be used against you turned over to your defense team, so your defense team can mount a proper defense. They know what's coming down the pipeline. Guess what? Listen to this. Dirty. Them move dirty. Defense attorney Deborah Martin, who is representing Leoda Bradshaw, the woman accused of orchestrating the kidnapping and killing of lawmaker Phillip Paulwell's 10-month-old baby and her mother, is seeking to obtain the contents of the plea deal her co-accused recently secured. Rashane Miller and Richard Brown recently pleaded guilty in the case, which I told you all, one got 7 years and 10 months and one got 30 years. One was for accessory and the other one was for the murder and kidnapping of. Now, Miller was sentenced to 7 years and 10 months for conspiracy to kidnap and 2 counts of accessory before the fact of the murder and 2 counts of conspiracy or imprisonment of felony, meaning he knew about a crime in progress and he did not tell law enforcement. Brown, on the other hand, who pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder and was sentenced to 30 years. Life is cheap in Jamaica, you know. 2 counts of murder, you know, to include an innocent 10-month-old kidnapping, and you get 30 years. These are the crimes in America where you get the death penalty if it's available in your state. And if it's not available in your state, I can pretty much assure you that you will never come out of prison because you're going to be hit with life without the possibility of parole. But back to Jamaica. Now, in the attorney's request to obtain the contents of the plea deal, Ms. Martin, the attorney, pointed out that based on a recent press release by the Office of the Department of Public Prosecution, she's aware that the prosecution intends to rely on information given from these convicts to mount its case against Leoda Bradshaw, and therefore, if they're going to do that, then she is seeking full disclosure of what transpired in court, which is only right. The attorney said that based on what was published, the records inclusive of the transcript is relevant to the upcoming trial. But listen to this. The presiding judge, Justice Vinette Graham Allen, told Leoda Bradshaw's attorney to put her request in writing. Justice Graham Allen said that she was unable to set a timeline for the provision for the transcripts as it was in a matter for the registrar. So you're talking to the wrong person. Ms. Martin pointed out that she made a request in a letter that was dated back from November 27th of 2023 and was therefore seeking an order from the judge to have that executed so she could get this information, so she could plan her defense for her client, which is Leoda Bradshaw. She also requested disclosure of details in the plea agreements with the Crown. What did you offer these guys? Like, what information did they exchange with you in order to come up with the deal that they got? Responding to Miss Martin's request, the judge said she will not grant an order. She will not grant an order, explaining that the court has nothing and cannot make an order in a vacuum. But the prosecution told the court that what transpired in relation to the now convicts, that was done under the Plea Negotiation and Agreement Act 2017. It said those proceedings were conducted in camera and then the files were sealed. Wow. Miss Martin said that she was not aware that these files were sealed because my client still got to go to court. And if she is mentioned in any of the documents cutting a deal with these guys and they said some foul stuff about her that didn't happen, I think we need to know about it, right? Speaking with reporters after the hearing, the attorney, Miss Martin, she said that there's a process that I will have to undertake to have the files unsealed, as she believes that anything concerning the now convicts and their credibility and how they came to give statements while accused persons is relevant to their evidence. A case management hearing is set for March 6th of 2024. Earlier in the proceedings, the court was told that the case file is incomplete. The prosecutions told the court that it is waiting for some forensic material from the Communication, Forensic and Cybercrime Division, or CFCD, of the JCF, Jamaica Constabulary Force. It is also awaiting forensic certificate for the Institute from the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine and statements from investigators. The prosecution said that it has been in dialogue with experts and it is hoping that the communication analysis related to call data records will be available by the end of February 2024. In relation to the digital forensic material, the court was told that a number of devices are to be assessed by February. I'm supposing these are everybody's cell phone that they were able to get a hold of. But defense attorney Deborah Martin complained that the legal team has been waiting for material since October 13th of 2023, noting that she had written requests for documents including forensic materials. She said that there are no statements on the file except for 2 people who convey forensic materials. Ms. Martin also pointed out that there are statements from the investigating officers regarding work that was done so far in the matter. The prosecution promised to prepare, submit, and disclose statements by the second week in January. Justice Graham Allen, the attorney, the judge overseeing all this, subsequently ordered that statements from the investigator be submitted and disclosed to the defense, which is Leoda Bradshaw's attorney, before January 31st. Today is the 28th as I'm reading this to you. Now, in relation to the forensic material and the forensic certificate, Justice Graham Allen said that those are to be submitted and disclosed to the defense on or before February 29th. One bag of mix up agwan. And we'll dive more into what the DPP said. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution says it will vigorously oppose any attempt to release any of the sealed information about the plea deals and transcripts of the accompanying hearing for 2 convicts who were recently sentenced in connection with the abduction and murder of 10-month-old girl and her mother. So, they are going to have to fight tooth and nail. Listen, I'm going to leave this one right here for now. But just so y'all know, a bunch of banga-ranga going on behind the scene. A bag of things are going. And I honestly think that this new guy, who is the 5th person picked up and charged, obviously somebody is talking, right? Right. So them go pick him up and them charge him. He ain't getting more than 7 to 10 years, even though he is, or maybe he will end up with 30 like the other guy, since his charges include kidnapping and actually murdering as well. Sad, man. Sad. We pray that justice be served though, right? To some degree. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace. Alright, my SouFLoTV audience. Anybody who knows me knows that I come from the rural parts of Jamaica where it's dark in those hills. And from I was a child until now, government still has not installed any street lights in some of the darkest corners of Jamaica. But guess what? We are doing it for ourselves. Just link up with Soninka Limited, because these solar powered street lights are powerful. They are commercial grade, remote controlled. They are waterproof. And did I mention that they are solar powered? So you don't have to wait on JPS. You don't have a bill to pay. These are powered by God's Son. Yes, and you stay on the ground and you remote control it to the brightness of your liking and all these things. Light up your lanes and streets and farms and corners and areas and be safe. All the information needed is on the screen, and Soninka deals with your installation and everything. Call them right now and get yourself out of the darkness and into the light, and tell them that SouFLoTV sent you. All right?